Hi everyone, this is Marianne and welcome to my channel, The Unplanned Life, where apparently I am planning my life again just like I did last week. But before we begin with a plan with me, let me first just give you a brief rundown of how this past week went. Actually, it is only the morning of December 5, Saturday, but I feel that I already have a pretty good insight on the strengths and weaknesses of the plans that I have laid out for myself for this current week. As I mentioned in my previous Plan With Me video, I wanted to establish a routine for myself in order to accomplish certain goals. The first item of the day is an hour of morning pages, followed by 4 hours of thesis work, which has to be done within this coming semester. And then I needed to scan and shred some items so that we can finally minimize our family's material possessions. And that is followed by a long free time where I can do other tasks and errands or take a break and rest. And then the nights are dedicated to making 2 notebooks a day for my notebook making business. I make them by hand. And since the week is actually not yet over, there are some tasks in this weekly task list on the leftmost column that can still be done. I still have until tomorrow to do them. Monday turned out pretty okay. As you can see here, most of the tasks listed for the day have been checked off. I did drop by Jawaid's house, but I ended up sleeping on his bed. I think that was the day that I started feeling unwell, and the feeling of being unwell carried over to the next day. Tuesday was a little bit off kilter, but I was able to muster enough energy to accomplish most of the tasks planned for the day. Now, there are 2 tasks right here at the bottom written in the past tense. It means that they were not planned tasks, but they either happened or I ended up doing them anyway. As for the scanning, because I wasn't feeling well, I did not sort and scan the storage items last Tuesday because that requires me to go through large dusty boxes. I just used the time to scan and shred my own archives instead, which are pretty small and kept clean all these years. You have seen my archives, you know how they look like. And I was still able to work on my thesis a little bit. On Wednesday, that's when the thesis work fell off and no scanning was done at all. I was feeling much worse on this day, and my sleep log even showed that I slept most of the day. I did check my temperature and it was normal. I just felt so exhausted beyond words. But in the evening, after several hours of rest, I was still able to work on notebook orders. The next day, Thursday, I felt better. I did not work on my thesis or on the storage items, but I started to enjoy the scanning and shredding of my archives because they are from the happier days of my life. So I saw some good memories there, which cheered me up. And that's why, as you can see here, I decided to spend a longer time on it than scheduled. And now let's go to Friday. And by the way, if you see these small strips of black here, this is just washi tape, and I use this to mark the tasks that require me to go out of the house so that they will jump up at me. Going out of the house requires me to pack my anti-COVID arsenal like face masks and face shields and a spray bottle of alcohol. I have to put my hair up and so on and so forth. And finally, now we come to today, Saturday, December 5. I did go to my doctor's laboratory as scheduled, but they were out of materials for one of the lab tests required, and I went to a different medical facility, but it was so crowded there, and no one was observing physical distancing, so I got afraid and I left. I plan to just go to another medical facility, but at night, so there will be less people in there, and I moved my checkup to another day because I can't see my doctor for a checkup without the results of the lab tests. Also, I'm not feeling well. this morning because the neighbor's tiny dogs kept yapping since 5 o'clock in the morning nonstop. It honestly gave me a headache and I could not do my morning pages. And despite that, I still tried to get my lab tests done. But at some point this morning, I decided to just give myself a break because I could not catch a break. I decided to give myself a break from the sunlight, nurse my headache, and do something enjoyable like make a YouTube video, which is this one you are watching now. I also drafted 2 letters that I hope would help make my community more comfortable to live in for those suffering from mental illness and physical disabilities. And I plan to send these letters out to the proper people by Monday. Now, I still have the rest of the day to try to do the tasks listed on here, and I still have tomorrow as well, but since I already know that tasks need to be done by next week, I went ahead and made the weekly pages for the coming week. Here is a fresh news spread, and the first step I know by now is to tab it. I made the tab, stuck it on there, and then for the washi tapes, I am using this set of 10 gradient washi tapes in the Roy G. Biv order. It's rainbow colored in short, but it has a gradient watercolor effect and it's very pretty. They are 5 millimeters in width, not my preferred 3 millimeters, but they are so cute I decided to give them a try. I purchased this from Lazada and I will leave a link below. It's also very cheap, only 180 pesos for the entire pack of 10 rolls, including shipping. I went ahead and folded the middle sheet of my week on 4 pages. Again, I got this idea from Cindy Guentert-Baldo, which I mentioned in my previous Plan With Me video, and then I started to unroll the washi tape. There's actually very little washi tape in each roll, and as you can see here, the roll is very thin. If I use one roll for the entire weekly pages, there might not be enough. So I decided to use one roll for each line, and it turned out okay because each weekly setup requires 10 strips of washi tape. All I really did was to make sure that I laid down the washi tapes in the order and orientation that would showcase their gradient colors from red to orange to yellow to green to blue and to violet. And now here are the washi tapes once I'm done laying them down. As you can see, as we progress through the days of the week from Monday through Sunday, the color sort of morphs through the Roy G. Biv spectrum. And I think it's really pretty. I really like it. Next step was to paste in the date headers and the timestamps, which I have pre-printed already and which you have already seen from the previous Plan With Me video. Now, I have mentioned that I don't do very well with very structured days in which I have specific tasks to do within a specific time bracket, but I just kept the timestamps on there anyway so that I can use it for tracking, not for planning. And then after this step, I went on my computer to look at my master file of all of my friends' birthdays and milestone dates and wrote them into the appropriate days of the week. And finally, here we are ready to map out my coming week. I have known for a long time that I don't do well with very structured days. Like I mentioned earlier, if you have been on my channel long enough, you know that I have never placed timestamps on my planner pages. I work in the field of creatives and we do things when we do them. It doesn't matter what time we do them, as long as we finish them and submit them on the required date. And that's just how we rolled. I will link down below a video of how my planner pages fill up during the week so you can see how I have been planning my days for years, and it's nothing like how I planned out my days for this current week. I just wanted to try to establish a routine, but that did not work out okay. The goal is still the same. finish my thesis, get my MA, um, to dispose of all of the archives and storage items after scanning them, and then make the notebook orders every day. Those are still the goals, but the plan isn't working, so I am going to change the plan but not the goal. And so for the next week, I'm not going to structure my days too much. Things need to be done, of course, but I will list them on the to-do list for the week without assigning them to a particular day. The only routine I am strictly going to stick to is the hour-long morning pages every day starting at 7 a.m. I also have tasks already in mind on Monday, and I wrote them down, and I think these tasks will take the place of actual thesis work because these are finally the set of requirements I need to comply with so I can get readmitted and extended in my university. I mentioned in my podcast episode 1 that for all of 2020 I wasn't able to enroll because of COVID, and my university is a 10-hour bus ride away. Luckily for me, my university is very kind and understanding, and they have informed me that they will readmit me and extend me, and gave me the procedure list, which can all be done remotely. Submission will be via email, and I will deal with all of that within this coming week. I also carried over tasks from this week to the next week because it's already the weekend anyway and they are not urgent tasks. I have also assigned one rest day for myself. It is not good to have no rest because in my free time last week I only rested when I felt sick, and that's not good. However, I have assigned my rest day on Thursday, which is the same day as my weekly voice lesson. Voice lesson is hard and quite physically draining, but I have the entire morning to gather strength for it and the rest of the day to rest from it. I do enjoy my voice lessons and it's important to me. So, in order for me to actually get the best of my voice lessons, I have decided not to do anything else on that day except voice lessons and morning pages, which is why I have labeled Thursday as my rest day. I am going to do nothing but do the voice lesson, morning pages, and rest. And of course, not to forget, I still have to make 2 notebooks a day, except on my rest day. That's still a dozen notebooks a week, so that's okay. That's all the energy levels I have for this coming week, so that's what I can commit to. As for the week after next week, well, we will see. Maybe I will feel better. And then the last part is to place some black bits of washi tape to the items that require me to get out of the house. I try to limit that actually. And then I just listed down more things for this weekend and for next week, and that is it. I will add more specific tasks as I go along, and I will give you another update when I do my next Plan With Me video. And that's my video for you today. Thanks for watching. Bye.